Everything seems under control, and you're not going fast enough. Mario Andretti. Some people collect cars, but for Nick, each car tells a part of his story. Come along as I show you 4 cars from his collection.
I'm here with my 1955 Bel Air. This is kind of my family ride. It's the only car I have with a back seat, so it's probably got 2 car seats in it right now. This is the first car that I ever had, like a hot rod, I bought this car at Mecum probably 9 years ago in Houston, and it had a big block in it. And once I started tearing stuff up, kind of driving it hard, I kind of started building it. So it's got the Merlin 598, a PRC carburetor, Precision Racing Carbs. He's out of Pasadena, Steve. The new transmission is a TKX Carbon 800, Ford 9-inch. It's got the classic red and black with some buckskin interior. The interior was done in Georgia. Gen 5 vintage air. There's no tint on this car, and in the middle of the summer, this air conditioner will blow you out of the car. I can't say enough about F85 Enterprises and the Gen 5 vintage air system. It's really, really a great combination. Wheelwood disc brakes all the way around. Just a really special car to me. My dad and all of my dad's brothers who kind of got me into hot rodding have all had 55s. My uncle, who just recently passed, Clark, had a couple of 55s, and his son, my cousin's got a 55.
So in a sense, it's almost like a rite of passage for a man in the family.
It kind of is. Huh? It is. And I'm really happy with the way this car has turned out. It's a great driver. Like I said, I'll get in this car and beat it around to a car show with my kids in the back eating popsicles or whatever. It's a family tuned car for me.
Family tuned.
Naturally aspirated, but plenty of power, big block power. It's just a lot of fun to drive. I've been around 55s my whole life, with my dad and his brothers, and it was just always kind of a special car for me. And so when this thing rolled across the block, at no reserve, I snapped it up, and I'm not planning on getting rid of this one. I'll keep building on this car until it's got a chassis and everything else under it. Kind of just going piece by piece. It's not a car that I plan on selling ever, so it's kind of just like as I tear things up, I replace them type deal. But just a really special car to me. It holds a spot in my heart. My kids have both ridden in this car, and like newborn car seats in the back seat.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
now you say your plan is to you're never going to sell it?
No. If I do sell it, I'll sell it for another one, maybe a car that's already got a chassis on it or something like that. But no, this is a special car to me. It's not for sale. Everything's for sale. But
so you gonna pass it down, or what are you gonna do with it?
No, this will be my kids' cars. Both my son and my daughter really love cars and power. They're pretty neat kids. They just love power and going fast, and this will be one of theirs. I'll hand my collection down to my kids. I'm not interested in doing a museum, or I'm not interested in liquidating when I'm done. This will be my kids' rite of passage when they're done. So
awesome. So you picked it up from your dad and you're passing it on to the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. Seems like you thought of family, like you said, when you had it all in mind, making sure you got the comfortability there, but you still got that power there to play with it when you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've kept this car for so long because it's the only car I've ever had that has a back seat, and the kids have to ride in something. So we'll go to car shows or rod runs or whatever, and this is the car that the family takes. So it's a family deal for us, and it will continue to be. My kids are getting older now and really liking the power and old cars and stuff. So hopefully here in the next few years, we'll be kind of starting some projects to build them their first cars.
Awesome.
So after Nick got the 55 Chevy and completed his rite of passage to be a man in his family, he decided to get another car. This one would be something from his own childhood. This next car will be a model that was owned by somebody that's near and dear to his heart.
What made you choose a Nova in the first place?
So my dad drove a '66 L79 4-speed. It was his first car. He was born in 1955, and so his first car when he was 16 was a white L79, which is the 350 horse 327, I believe, with a 4-speed rock crusher. And I've always just really loved Chevy 2s, mostly the 66 and 67, this body style Chevy 2. I just kind of connect with this car and it being kind of a part of my dad's history. And I've had this car for, 4 or 5 years now, kind of building on it and making it the way that I would want it. And, that was kind of my gateway into this classic car deal. My dad's always been into cars. He's still got cars and he's still a big part of my life. And I grew up going to, hot rod shows and rod runs and all that with him. He's got a little bit different style than I do, but I just like really love power and making stuff fast and still trying to keep kind of a classic look. And I think this car turned out really well to the style of car that I like. But
definitely, it's very tastefully done.
Thank you.
You didn't go overboard with anything. It looks good.
Maybe a little overboard with the power, but
nah. That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
You can still tell what it is, and it drives and does what it's supposed to. As far as the chassis, why?
Well, I just wanted that new car ride.
Okay.
So when you start doing subframe connectors and all that on these cars, they just kind of get choppy on the road. I wanted this car to skate down the road like a new car and ride like a new car. And also wanted to be able to tune the suspension for the car. So the car makes a lot of power, and I wanted to be able to, without mini tub in the car, we still got a lot of tire behind it. So we kept that stock trunk look. And I wanted to be able to tune the suspension for the power of the car. So when this car is going straight, it hooks and goes. Even when it's spinning, it'll eventually catch and it tracks straight. Some of the subframe connector cars just aren't as straight as these chassis cars. So when you start with a new chassis and kind of work from the ground up, you're building a new car. And I was really happy with everybody that was involved in this. It's got super cold air. F85 Enterprises down the street did that. And also down the street right here is G-Force. They did all the power adder modifications. It's all there. It's complete and it's about to go. So
the next piece I'm gonna show you in Nick's collection isn't even his favorite piece, but I will say it's one of the most unique, and it's one that's very rarely seen nowadays when people talk about collecting cars or trucks. It's a truck. And why did he get it? Because what's a man without his truck?
This is my 1969 K20. It's got a 68 front clip, big block 454, 700 R4 transmission. All the powertrain, all the way back to the 14 volt is all new. It's got new saddle interior, new wood bed, new lift, race line wheels, classic instruments dash, Gen 5 vintage air AC. I just got it done and been enjoying it, but probably about to flip it and get something else to play with.
All right. What made you choose the K20 platform?
Well, the K20 is like a truck. It's a 3/4 ton. It's a real 4-wheel drive. The K20s had the look that I was going for when I wanted to build like a jacked up truck. The next truck that I build will probably be something like a short bed chassis truck, something fast that can put some like new LS power in. But I thought this was like a stereotypical truck. It's got a big block. It's got, low gears, big cam, you know it when it's coming down the road, and it's a real eye catcher. Just the black worked really well with the saddle interior.
It's a truck.
It's a truck. Yeah, that's right.
All right. When you originally got it, how did it look? How many changes have you made to it since you had it?
So I bought it painted, and redid the power, built the transmission, built the rear end, It did not have air condition, so you'll see with some of my other cars, I'm buddies with a vintage air distributor and installer, and he does all my cars really well. Shout out to F85 Enterprises on that. But I put a new carburetor on it. The motor was in it, but it was just ran real rough. It wasn't really smooth. So we kind of got all the kinks worked out of it now, and it's about to hit the block at Mecum on Saturday afternoon.
All right. You mentioned Mecum. How often have you dealt with Mecum? Is this your first go at it, or have you been?
No. Out of the 5 or so cars that I have in there right now, I've bought 3 of them from Mecum. I've got a good relationship with those guys. I've done some traveling to shows. My Nova came from Dallas. This came from Houston 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just a good truck that had solid bones that I knew I could just make better. And so now I'm just gonna kind of return it back to the pool and see what happens on it.
Sounds good.
This is normally the part where I say goodbye and hope that you tune in for the next episode. But I feel like we'll be seeing Nick again. And wait, I did say we were gonna see 4 cars, right?
1, 2, 3.